minutes left to go. So begins the fun. Go and hide chat so you all don't give me too many spoilers. Okay, just getting logistical details down here. Going to broadcast this real quick so we have that out there. Okay, so it looks like we got all that ready to go. We got about 2 minutes left until the stream is supposed to start, so we'll just take our time here and then figure it out from there. For those watching, there is about a 20-second lead time between what you're going to see and what's actually going on the screen over here. Okay, looks like we are about to start things off, so we'll just wait for tjrhodes to mention something to me, and then we will get going. Okay. So turn this down a little bit so I have that a little bit more control over my volume there. Wrong window. And so we begin. Ding indeed. Now you guys aren't going to hear the tack noise because I kind of want to listen to music in the meantime here. So also please do avoid saying anything in global chat or in the actual chat for this. Okay, so that seems to be a fairly typical response. So let's go ahead and go for the cut then. I'm probably going to get very quiet here and fairly focused, so don't be offended if I'm not talking. Okay, that looks like we got him. Okay, he's probably going to cap right there, so we'll see if that actually happens. Nope, looks like we're lucky. Let's go ahead and try and cut him all the way. So I need to slow down and think about these moves a little bit here. Okay. So he has that, so if he moves here, then he has an advantage. If he moves here, he has a potential road threat. Hopefully this entire alleyway is cut off, so we need to be progressing this way. We also need to have an attrition route to here. So I need to be careful because this follow-up move is going to be right here, more than likely, and I'm betting it's going to be the cap, so I gotta be careful for that. Okay, so let's see here. Options, 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 options. He doesn't have any viable threats within multiple moves, so I'm thinking that D2 is going to be my best response to this. That way I have some guarding right here in case he decides to start a fight over it. Let's see here. So that allows him to capture over there and start a war right on that piece, so I'm going to have to be careful. But I need some type of attrition here, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it and see what happens. He's probably going to take D4 over here and move it there, so let's see what happens if he does that. That's going to give him a nice little staircase there, so I'm going to have to be very, very, very careful. I'll probably respond by placing a black here. Unless he decides to put his capstone there, in which case I'm going to move this immediately over. Okay, so he places a capstone out and away. Noted. I'm going to have to get that in play, so we're going to have to be a little bit aggressive here. Because I can't just let him get that. So, if I move here, his capstone might go over. The problem is that gives him a weakness of attrition, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it and see what happens. I also need to have a vertical threat presence, so I need to get that done. He also has a potential vertical presence, so I need to cut it. So let's see. It might be cap over, it might be cap over, it might be this piece over here. we'll see what we get. If it is, then I have maybe a couple of moves to do something about it. Okay, so it looks like he's going to go for that then, which gives me a nice amount of momentum. Let's see here. Should I start the capture or should I ignore it, I wonder? The problem is if I ignore it and he manages to take this piece, I'm in trouble. Pure and simple. So this piece happens to be his juncture, which is where he's going to get all his threats in. And it doesn't exactly sacrifice anything from me, so I might as well look at that as a potential option. It allows me to respond to most anything he can do as well. And it gives me a couple of turns of momentum to try and do something else. So let's go ahead and do this and see what happens. So right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are at 0 flats on turn 8. This gives me a nice strong position. It looks like he's going straight into defensive mode, so I'm going to have to go ahead and rush him. Okay, let's see what we got here. If he captures here, then he's going to have a very, very, very viable road threat very quickly, so I'm going to have to look at that. Now, if I capture here, then I can make a vertical attrition threat. And that'll give me 2 threats. He might end up capturing there, but if he does, I can immediately place back at b4. So I think this is going to be my best bet. Now, he's trying to make a threat here and here, but unfortunately for him, I have more vertical maneuverability than he does, so I'm going to go ahead and see what we get here. And then we're still at 0 flats because he placed. Now, if I can get here, I'm going to have a lot better of a position. I'm betting he puts his capstone over there, though. No? Okay. So the question is, what does that accomplish? That doesn't quite give him attack threat. Now, if I play here, then he's going to have to respond to that pretty quickly. If I play here, though, that gives me multiple threats. The only problem is that he can immediately capture that back and start a war over that piece, which I'm not exactly going to win. So, question is, what do I do about that? Because he has 3 points of contact, I have a couple. Now, if he manages to take this piece as well, I'm going to be in trouble, and he's going to have a very strong road threat. So, what to do, what to do, what to do? That is a good question, one I don't have an adequate answer for quite yet. Do I want to continue to make the threat over here? I believe the adequate answer would be yes, so I'm going to go ahead and place E1 and see what happens. Let's do a double check for attack threats just in case. So he can do b4 over, which is going to make an almost immediate threat. He can also do that. He can also do, yeah, I'd say E1's going to be my best bet here to forward the momentum and try and get a stronghold on 1. If he happens to capture here, I'm going to have some fun with it, because that's going to allow me to wipe out his entire threat in one shot. Which I don't want to do, but at the same time, it is a good option. Now I can also play here as a response to that. Now, what does he have? What does he have immediately? Okay, so we have this goes through there. We can immediately reinforce right here, which is going to give us attack threat. It's also going to reinforce those pieces, and we're going to see what happens. So he's played C1. which is a very, very good point, but let's see what we got here. This is a slight bit sneaky, but I doubt it's going to give me a lot of advantage. Now, he's going to have a freaking strong BC there, so I'm going to end up paying for this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and evaluate these options a little bit just to make sure I don't do anything importantly stupid here. So this gives me attack threat. And then any of the captures over there don't. I can ignore him safely for maybe a turn after I do this. So we'll see what he ends up capturing around it, and then we'll work from there. Because as soon as he gets momentum, I am going to be in a world of hurt, and it is going to be painful. Okay, I gotta watch that right there, because that's gonna kill me. Let's see if he goes for his own threat and tries to be clever. I'm betting he's going to capture somewhere in here. If I'm lucky, he's going to try and move over here and miss that thing entirely. Okay, so it looks like we got exactly what we're thinking. Now, I can't give up that space, so I'm going to have to move here. And he's going to have one hell of a threat here in a turn, so I'm going to have to be very, 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 very careful. So let's go ahead and look at it. He has capture over here. So he has multiple threats he can start making on A, B, and C here, so I'm going to have to pay attention to this and see what happens. Yeah, I know I'm burning down time, but honestly, I'd rather be careful early game where I'm weakest. So let's go ahead and do this and see what happens. Now, I don't have an immediate threat, but he's probably going to end up making one, so I'm going to have to respond. I'm hoping he places, because if he does, then I can wrench him out a bit. Okay, so it looks like he did in fact place an A5, which makes a threat from there and there. So, carefully. What do we got? And do we have any immediate attack threats that we can utilize? So the problem is he can capture right here, and that is game. I can also respond right here, which is going to make his life really painful. I mean, there are no flats that I can place right now that would successfully bar him from doing this. And I think this is my only actually move that would be decent. If I happen to capture over to here, then that gives up this attrition and gives him a possible vector there. This is going to be fun. So, here possibly diminishes my road. Here gives me reinforcement. Actually, this technically cuts him in half. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a better option. Luckily for me, he has no attrition, so all I have to do is cut him for one more turn, and then I'm going to have a heyday right through there. So, if we go ahead and cut him in half, let's see what happens. He's probably going to play right there, and then I'm going to have trouble. Actually, let's think this through a little bit more. So, B3 takes B4. What does he do in response? He can play immediately to there, which is going to make it a pain, and he's in attack again. Now, if I move this over here, on the other hand, I have potential root reinforcement right there. And he can't immediately get back attack. But he's going to move his capstone on top of it, which is going to be really freaking annoying. Well, honestly, I don't have enough time to really debate this too much, so let's go ahead and do it and see what happens. The only problem is he's going to have a citadel there, and it's going to be a pain. He's probably going to immediately take this, so I'm going to have to play around that. And then it's going to end up diminishing a majority of my line. So I'm betting cap takes it. Which means that he can white and then cap right in the middle there of my entire line, which is really freaking annoying, by the way. I don't like this. If he does anything else as far as placement, I think I've got him. Okay, so he placed in B2. Which is, unfortunately for me, still tack. Okay. So that's unfortunate. And I burnt a whole lot of time thinking about this too, so I'm going to have to be damn careful. What can I do to stop him? If I do this, then he can immediately play there, and then it's just... Actually, does that stall him for a couple of turns? I think it might. So, if I happen to play here, what's he do immediately afterwards? He can take the cap over to there, or he can place a white there. I think that might be my best option here. I captured down and he immediately wins. The thing is, I just have to knock him off momentum for one turn, and then I'm going to have a heyday with that stack over there because he has basically no attrition to it. Now, if I do this and he immediately plays right here, what's the answer going to be? Honestly, I don't know, so let's just go for it. So it gets me a clean cut. We're going to see what we can get off of this. He's probably going to use the cap, though, or he's going to place there. If he places there, then I have a shot. I'm not sure what he's going to do, so this is potentially very, very dangerous of me. Now, if I happen to place here, then I have multiple threats that are immediately incoming. Because he doesn't have a 1 momentum right now. And he can't get one back. So I'm playing really fast and loose with this. Okay, so we got the wall. We'd assumed the wall was coming, so what are we going to do to play around it? He's immediately yielded me advantage, which is freaking amazing, but I'm going to have to pay for it a bit. Question. He's probably going to go for here, which is going to immediately mean that he does that. So, what am I going to do in response? Response. Okay, if I play here, that puts me immediately in attack threat again. And then if I move here, that immediately gives me attack threat again. The only problem is I need more than that, so I'm going to need to play where? This doesn't give me 2 attack threats, which is annoying, but anyway, okay. So time is starting to run a little bit cheap here. He's giving me a yield, so I'm going to have to take it for what it's worth. The problem is I'm not going to have any attrition down there either, so he's going to immediately take that stack back. Or I could try and bait the cap over to it, which might be the better option here. But I don't have a choice, so... yeah, let's go for it and see what he does here. What I'm going to try and do is diminish this entire 1 throw, because that's going to be annoying. He's probably going to use the wall there, so I'm going to have to be very, very, very careful here in a second. I have middle ground, so I'm going to attack for B3, A2, B1 area, and see what happens. Of course, I'm taking a lot of time here, and I'm going to pay for that later. Oh boy, am I going to pay. I need to be using more flats, though, because this is going to be an issue fast. Yeah, I thought so. Which the danger here is that, well, yeah, that. If I play here, then that gives me a chance to diminish it. If I play here, then he takes his cap, and then he has a potential very nasty thing to do to me. Actually, to be perfectly honest, I think that's a better option, because then it baits his cap over, and I can do something about it. I'm kind of hoping he does, because then I could just wall this off and then he's stuck. Or I can potentially try and ignore him and see what happens. Okay, that's what I was hoping would happen. So what are we going to do here as an answer? I can wall right there immediately, and then I'm going to have that work around. Because if he does that, I'm in all types of trouble. So I'm going to have to work around it. Which that gets his cap out of play, so we're going to hope for the best on that. I'm betting he moves it over here and leaves white. Which is going to mean I'm going to have to move that wall and see what happens. I've got him a little bit sparse, so now I'm just going to have to start moving a bit quicker, because that time is going to kill me. Because right now I have 6:43 and he has double my time. Excuse me. Okay. So he's probably aiming to try and get another threat over there. So what do I do in response to this, then? Well, I do what any sane person would do. I block out his entire threat. Because what he's probably going to try and do is make an immediate run on that. And then I have a couple of blacks under here, so I can just run over there and take it. If I'm very, very lucky, he uses his cap to flatten that, and I have a bit of a fun time. Because he doesn't have a one move, so I can make a move there, and then I can see what happens. It's going to be dangerous as hell, but I'm going to have to try something. Thankfully, he's taking quite a bit more time to think, so let's see what he does. I've at least managed to isolate his cap a little bit, which is going to be very, very good for me. I seriously doubt, though, I get the E file. Okay, what was it? A2. Okay, so the question is, can he win with this? He can capture up, and then he can use his cap. So I'm going to have to do something about this. Of course, I can stop it right there, but this is going to be a freaking pain. So, question is, do I go on the defensive and yield, or do I try and push for offense? Honestly, I vote for offense. Because I need to get that cap out away from there, otherwise I'm going to have an issue. Okay, so if he moves the wall here, what do I do? If he moves the wall there, what I need to do is Well, I'm gonna immediately have to yield and see what I can do here. Because if I don't get a wall right there, I'm going to be in all types of hell. Yeah, I assumed he would. Time is not my friend right now. Okay, so what can I do to get around this? I'm gonna have to reinforce the entire area and hope for the best. Because that wall is honestly beyond my capacity to block right now. If I'm lucky, I can harvest another black and get that over there. So the question is, can he win if he does this? The problem is that that wall is going to be vulnerable very quickly. So what can I do to make him pay for that? Nothing right now, so I'm going to have to place. Besides, I need to get my flat count down. Okay, so we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So plus 1 at turn 20. If I'm lucky, he tries to capture here, and I can just dump it and hope that I can pull that out. If not, I'm going to have a very bad day here. And then my cap is going to get fat on white. That's the problem, is he has a very, very real advantage right there, and I'm not in a good spot to take him. Yeah, I thought he might. Well, that's one of them I was afraid of. Okay, can he win in one turn? Yes, he can. So, if I bring the wall over here, then he immediately places there, but I can make a run with it. And I can also capture over here to make that very painful for him. No, that's a bad idea. That's all types of a bad idea. Because he has to leave everything right there, which is not going to throw well for me. So I'm going to have to yield. Am I though? Actually, how many is that? So we can leave 1, 2, 3 and be right there. Okay, that's bad too. But this gives me the ability to hoot some of his stuff out as well. Then I can take this and I can run over him. So let's see what he does. I need to get rid of pieces fast though, because right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 1 still, 21. I'm gonna have to run away with that threat fast though. Actually, I'm just going to have to play faster in general because I would take too much time explaining things and thinking. Okay, good, so he's still afraid of me. That works to my advantage. so I have 2 that I can put there, which isn't going to be very much. Now I can try and bait his cap down there, but that'd be stupid. Let's try this. Run after it, see if he takes the bait, then I'm going to cut him. Because I still have that wall to defend it if it does happen. Yeah, I'm going to have to play a lot faster, so I'm going to stop talking as much and just think. Worst case, he plays there and then he tries to put his cap over there, so let's see what we have as a response to that. Well, honestly, I still have this which can cut through right there, which I'm going to have to use. Or reinforce very, very quickly. I still have those roads over there. Okay, good. I thought he might. So the bad part about this is that he doesn't have a very clean cut, so... What do we do? 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 He can't win there. He can't win there, so he's basically giving me momentum. And I'm going to have to use it for all it's worth right now. Okay, so I can cut there. He's going to play immediately right there, though. So, do I sacrifice that? Yes. So we managed to cut him off, and he's probably going to do this, and he's going to throw his capstone on top of it. The problem is he's going to get fat with black pieces if he does that, so I can make him pay a little bit by putting a wall right here, or just moving this one over. This has been a little bit of a mess. Actually, what if I put that wall on top of there and then did that? That wouldn't do me any good. This gives him huge stack, but it also affords me some options. Because I can immediately move the wall right there. So the question is, can he win with this? And the answer is no, not really. I'm going to pay for that time difference, though. Okay, so if he happens to go that way, what does he get? A lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So more than likely, that way is my most dangerous option. If he goes down, though, I can have some fun with him. Because he doesn't have an immediate road threat yet. But still. That time is going to be killer. I'm expecting him to throw that way. That way I can just move over there. But that gives me a little bit of flexibility. If he throws down, then I can have a little bit more fun with him over there as well, using the capstone. Because luckily for me, he can't win one turn because he doesn't have any attrition over here. Okay, how many do I have under here? 3. Let's just hope that he thinks this through a little bit. Okay, so pretty much in expected parameters. The only problem is he also yielded. So what do? I need to get flats out of the way. If I move here, then he flattens that wall and I win. Where else can he win? Not there, at least. So he flattens that wall, I win. Well, really, he flattens any wall, I win. Okay, what do you do? B3, B3, B3. Time is not my friend. Time is not my friend. Okay, how many does he have to throw? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Sheesh. He can't win, can he? So if he does that, then 1, 2, 3, yeah. So he's going to end up having to capture war over it. So 14 flats left to 14 flats left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So plus 1, still at 27. I'm going to have to think freaking fast, though. Because I have a wall cut. A couple of wall cuts, honestly. Okay, so if I wall him, what happens? He tries to flatten and he loses. If I move the wall into it, then he has a bad day. Yeah, I'm gonna regret that time difference. So 3, 6, 9, 11. Now what's he up to here? Probably gonna capture that. Freaking time. Then he won't have an option to do that, and then I can take out his entire line there. Okay, let's think a little bit more. Let's think a little bit more. He's gonna capture that almost immediately. Yeah, I know I have about 20 seconds left, and it's gonna be painful. Dang it. I'm gonna have to go through his line, though. Let's see if he leaves it alone for a turn. If he does, I win. Okay, I figured he'd do something like that, so let's go ahead and keep pushing. That doesn't really do anything for him. Yeah, frick, I thought so. At this point, I'm burning flats to see what happens. He's probably going to take that, but then I'm going to have an immediate vengeance on him. Seconds. Well, I've heard of playing to the gun, but this is a little bit ridiculous. I figured. Okay, what can I do to try and make something that's another attrition threat? He's probably going to try and make a run right there. And if he does, I'm going to try and have fun with him. Yeah, I was right. Time is going to be my enemy here. Thankfully, it looks like I got him on flats a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, shoot, never mind. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what do you do? F2? Yeah, I'd figured. Let's see if he falls for board fill. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sheesh. Well, honestly, I think that's going to be my best bet. Okay, so let's see here. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So +1, was it? Or did I miscount? Let's run the numbers on that one more time. So there's 7. How many pieces are left there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces for black, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black. why am I? Okay, let's go ahead and put up the chat. Nope, no one said anything. Okay, we're good. Yeah, that time freaking kills. Oopsie. I was rather hoping he'd go for a board fill, and +1's not bad. Okay, we're going to be taking a 5-minute break. I will be right back, and we will continue on. Mm, 2 seconds left. That is impressive. Let's see what Discord has over here. Shoot, I guess he would. That's pesky. Okay. So let's go ahead and switch over to music again. Let's go Bach. actually? Yeah, I'm gonna grab another drink. Actually, let's go Final Fantasy. Well, going into game 2, I'm going to have to be very, 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 very careful. +1 is a good way to hold it, but that still leaves me vulnerable. Okay, so we make a 6x6 with 15 plus 20, and I shall be white. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This time I'm going to play a little bit faster, because that was fun. To be fair, I was expecting a D5 thing. That's why I still had all the E stuff over there, and E6 and D6. Okay, let's go for center attrition and see what we got. Do I want to go for flexibility, or do I want to go for something else? Well, honestly, what I should do is I should go for attack, but I'm going to need that flexibility, so I'm going to go and go for that. He might cap there, but that's not strong enough to do anything yet. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Reinforce that for 1. I figured. So let's see if we can safely ignore him for a move or 2. I doubt it, because he's probably going to take C5 over here as soon as there and go for a threat along the 4 row, which is going to be painful. Okay, fine. Let's mirror it then. Come on, play D3. Play D3, make it pretty. There's no chance he actually does that, but hey. Oh, yeah, I'm white. Okay, so I'm going to need to start to make another threat here, because this one's not going to cut it. All I have to do is hold him off for flats for more than +1. He might do that, but we'll see. Let's keep up flexibility here. He has a little bit of a strength hole right there, which is going to be a pain later. And that cap is definitely up in my business. I debate the necessity of making... Yeah, I was worried about that. I just need to get rid of flats as fast as possible. I can avoid the capture war for a few more turns. I want to. Okay, do we want to start this now then? Because if he starts first, I have a bad day. We're even on flats so far, and he's constrained primarily to that column. I seriously doubt that works though. Now which one's he going to capture? Okay, so we went straight for the capstone. Let's respond in kind. Okay, so we have the cap fairly locked, and then we can place right here to try and continue a threat. Okay, that was expected. Now, what do we do as a response? I need to have more than one threat. He has this. So let's go ahead and respond with this and see if he falls for a tricky road. I doubt it. Yeah, I didn't think that'd work. Okay, so now what do I have? A really bad situation is what I have. Okay. So, he has two of my pieces over there. Let's take a little bit of time to think on this one, because we still have some time. If I do that, he immediately takes there, which is bad. Which is very bad. Okay, I do that, and he can immediately place right there. I do that, and that effectively hounds him over there. Okay, the problem is that's too risky. But he places there if I don't, so... Yeah, I gotta think this one through a bit. So if I place there, then what can he do? He can use that over. Yeah, I think that is going to be my best bet then. I'll have to think through the rest later. If I'm lucky he used one of these two. I doubt it, though. He's probably going to use that, and I need to immediately do something. Preferably this. Actually, if I do that, then he can just put his capstone on top of it, and that's going to hurt him more. I have an emergency right there to take care of it. This is all types of stupid. I would not recommend ever doing it. Because more than likely what you're going to see is that cap is going to go over there. No? Very well then. Have at ye. Okay, never mind, we're good. Okay, he still has to leave something there. Which is very good. I thought I'd really screwed up there for a second. That would have been fun. Thankfully, he only has that one black piece there, so I'm going to have a little bit of fun real quick. Well, if he flattens it, he loses. Which is the nice part about putting that there, because that gives me a few bonus white pieces. And if he doesn't, then I put that on top of there, and there's basically next to no... Well, there are ways he can stop me, but he's going to have a very painful time doing it. Thankfully, I got him to stop and think a bit. We'll see how long that lasts. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 0 at 15. What are you playing? Yeah, I'd figured he'd probably try and do that. Yeah, that is my best move. Then I can white hop. Let's see what he does, though. I'm going to have a run on him pretty soon, though. Okay, if he puts the cap up there, I'm going to immediately... Okay, I figured. So let's go ahead and lock the cap. Because he can't win like that. No. And then I have this in case he decides he wants to do something over there. So now we're at 4, 7, 5. So plus 2, it turns 17. I expected something like that, so let's see what we can do with it. Excuse me. Well, thankfully the time's a bit more equitable, should we say, this time. He seems to be losing a lot more. Yeah, let's see what he does there, because he does too much and I'm going to end up having my own path. I'd expected something along those lines. The question is what he's going to do with it. Oh, he wants to move the cap back. Okay. So this can make him pay for it. He can't win. At least not yet. The nifty thing, though, is if he does anything over here, I'm going to immediately have road threat that he's not going to be able to contest on 3 very easily. I'm also getting the base up for a 3-1 right there, so we'll see if I can get any type of threat going. I still have his cat panda. I'd like to keep it that way if at all possible, so we'll see. You know, I kind of expected that one. So, question is, what do I do in response to it? Let's think this through for a second. I can immediately end it with that, and he doesn't have any throws to do it. So I'll just use that as a bailout switch and wait for it. Is going to be my bail switch. Problem is that unlocks his cap. If he does move there, I immediately put right there. So we're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So +2 at turn 20. Okay. Yeah, I'd expected you to do something like that. I just wasn't sure if you'd actually go through with that. Let's see if our cappy friend over here likes to do anything. Stop and think. Can he do anything with this? No, not really. If I do this, though, what's he think of it? That allows me to use my cap if I need to. can just wall that off if he does. Problem is, if he moves that capstone, it's going to be a pain for him. Okay, that's adorable. You do realize what I'm like to do this, right? I flatten cap, I win. I do that, I have another route. Okay, so let's aim for F3 here. I'm betting his cap does something, though. No, wouldn't be possible. He's probably going to use the wall there. Okay, so we have 4, 8, 10, 4, 8, so still +2, turn 22. And I have one potential at least. Well, multiple potentials if you factor that. Yeah, I figured he would. Question is, what do I do in response to it? Do I immediately pursue it? If I flat there, does it do anything bad? No. Except the cap is temporarily unlocked. Which is annoying, I must say. So I have a vertical threat on 5-6 I can make in a turn. This gives me more potential for vertical. Yeah, let's go ahead and surround and see what he does. I really hope he captures that though, because if he does, I'm going to immediately blow through the entire 2-row. Yeah, I figured he would. Question is, how do I make you pay for it? And the answer is not easily. Well, that's the problem with letting that thing get unpinned. Thankfully, though, I still have enough attrition on to make this potential non-issue. Well, I'm gonna think this one through a bit. Okay, so what do we have as far as potential? I capture here, and he can immediately capture back there. I capture here, and he doesn't have as easy of a chance. And I get a few more white captives, potentially. So I think the best option might be to do this. Well, let's make sure. Can he win if I do this? No. Okay, it's going to turn into a brawl very, very quickly. I'm going to have to start playing a little bit faster then. If I can get this white stack up there, I basically got the game. One turn of momentum is all I'm going to need. Well, what happens if he flattens that? He has 1, 2... He might be able to. If he does that, I'm gonna have to think more. Yeah, I didn't think you'd give me that. Not that easily, at least. Okay, so question is, what can I do to pin him again? I'm gonna have to have some type of defense in this thing. Well, if I play there, that doesn't do me much good. If I play there as wall, it doesn't do me much good either. Okay, so I'm down to 8-19, so time is going to become an issue again. Question is there a way that I can make that actually work to my favor? Answer is, maybe not. Okay, what can he do off of that, though? If I reinforce this... then I at least have an immediate threat and his cap is locked again. If he captures there, well, yeah, that'd be a bad idea for him. Yes, this was expected. Though I really like the look of your stack right here. Should I? Let's think this through a bit more. If he does that, I win. Can he win in one turn? No. Thank you, No Hat, for that little trick. I think I might use it. See A5 over here? We're gonna have some fun. If he flattens that wall, I win. he does anything, I'm probably going to win. Yes! Boom! Sneaky tack. Thank you, No Hat. And Salt and Pepper and various other people. Oh, and I do apologize for the slight celebration there. I was excited. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and close this out, and we will advance on the tournament. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream then. Oh, dang, that means I have to frickin'... Shoot, I have to play Salt and Pepper, don't I? Well, here's to you, mate. Game 2. Hopefully this time will give you a better challenge. Okay, so... should be stopping the stream here in about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1.